everyone, welcome into the Father-Son Football Fanatics podcast. We are so glad you're here with us tonight. I'm your host, Michael Combs. This is your other host, Caden Combs. And we are excited for this show. We think you're going to really like it. We don't really want to do a whole news segment, so we just wanted to touch on a couple little things. One of the main things being Jadeveon Clowney signs again to the Browns. So him and Myles Garrett are back together. And other Browns news, Deshaun Watson may be suspended for the whole year.
In other Browns news, Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis Landry's gone and he's now a Saint. So that's pretty much it. All of our news surrounds the Browns, which is one of our rivals. So that's a good thing there, I guess. Although Clowney's pretty good, so that may not be good. But
Clowney, he's getting old.
He is. But that's really it for the news. But we're glad you're with us today. Let's jump into our top 10 picks for the wide receiver position.
Top 10 picks.
Top 10 picks.
It's time for the top 10 picks. This is a fun little segment we've been doing for fantasy. We've done quarterbacks, we've done running backs, and we've done nothing else. Now we're doing wide receivers. And ours are a little interesting.
It really is interesting. So the wide receiver position is such a volatile position. It's up and down. You can have a guy that is number 1 year, can drop to number 25 the next year, and there's so much
That probably won't happen
there.
with Cooper Cup.
Maybe not. But what's funny about this is as we were going through and picking our top 10, comparing them so we can get kind of a consensus top 10, we were able to do that through about number 6. And then after that, it got real shady. I mean, just vastly different. Caden had, I think, 3 players in his top 10 that weren't in my top 10. And I have 3 players in my top 10 that aren't in yours. I guess that would make sense, right? So yeah, a lot of variation there. But the first one was a pretty easy one. Our consensus number 1 was Justin Jefferson.
His first one was Justin Jefferson. My second one was Justin Jefferson. My first one was Devontae Adams. I think he's going to a new team. Good quarterback. I think he's gonna
I don't know.
shoot off.
I don't know. Can you get much better than he's already been?
Yeah, but he was 4th.
Yeah, but
I think he's going up.
You're going to a lesser quarterback.
Better team.
He's a year older.
I don't know. Just watch.
I mean, that's what what we'll have to do. But comparing our 2 lists, Justin Jefferson was the number 1 on the list. He was my number 1 on my list.
He was mine.
So jump into number 2. Now, the reason I think Jefferson's number 1, you had a number 2. He's been consistently in the top. He was, I think it was number 6 and then number 5 his first 2 years. He's going to get better. Adam Thielen is getting worse, getting older. Jefferson's going to take all of those targets. I mean, between him and KJ Osborne, they're going to soak up all of Adam Thielen's targets.
Jefferson got 4 this year.
Was he 4?
And Devontae Adams was 5.
Okay. Yeah. So I think Jefferson moves up. But our number 2 that we agree on is our one and only, our hometown hero,
T. Higgins. No, Jamar
Chase. Jamar Chase taking the second year jump up to number 2.
He's my number 3.
Number three is a safe place for him, but I have him at number 2. You have him at number 3, so it kind of puts him into number 2 just because our lists are so different, the way we have them ranked. But he's our number 2. Now, the next one on the list, he comes in at our number 3, is Devontae Adams. You have Devontae Adams at number 1. I have Devontae Adams at number 5.
So, you add them together, you got 6, divided by 2, 3.
So, I think he stays... I don't think he gets any better than he was last year.
La 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 la.
He might get worse.
La 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 la.
I think he obviously stays in the top 10.
I think he will too, but I think he's gonna be.
Now the next guy on our list for number 4.
I know who it is.
I've written him down. And it's kind of weird. Our list just didn't mesh very well. We have such different.
Except on 6 we both had somebody, and then 7 we also had somebody. But
we had to
move them up because we had such different lists.
Yes. So we both had Deebo Samuel at number 6, but we didn't have anybody else that we agreed upon. So that puts Deebo up the list to number 4 because we just had nobody else to go there. Yeah. Well, because I have CeeDee Lamb at number 3 on my list. And I know you probably think I'm crazy, but CeeDee Lamb is taking over.
I just forgot something.
CeeDee Lamb's taking over the
I
target.
forgot he was like the only one on the Cowboys that's good anymore.
Well, Michael Gallup's there. So, but CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper leaves. CeeDee Lamb soaks up a lot of those targets.
Pick him in fantasy, kids. I have him in my dynasty league.
If he stays healthy.
I have no fantasy leagues anymore on my new phone. I just forgot about that.
That's the bad part about getting a new phone is you got to log into all your fantasy leagues again.
I forget my password.
But CeeDee Lamb's the only guy. I mean, he's it. He jumps way up the list for me because Dak is a good quarterback. CeeDee Lamb's a really good receiver. If he stays healthy, he's way up the list. But anyway, Deebo, number 4. Number 5 on our consensus list.
Mike Evans?
Stephon Diggs.
See, I have him at 9.
You have him at 9. I have him at 4.
4!
So Stephon Diggs lands at number 5. Again, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, great players, great team.
But you also got Gabriel Davis. You also got Emmanuel Sanders. If they signed him back, I don't know if he, came back to the team or not.
I think Emmanuel Sanders is done.
No, he's not.
I think he's.
See what he did last year?
I think he's in the graveyard. Stephon Diggs, number 5. Now here's one that we both agreed on, but because of our list, we had to move him up a spot. But Mike Evans. I have Mike Evans at number 7. You have Mike Evans at number 7.
Do you want to hear something crazy?
But because of our list, we had to move him up to number 6.
Do you want to hear something crazy? He doesn't have Tyreek Hill on his list.
I do not have Tyreek Hill on my top 10 list.
What are we on, 5?
That was number 6.
Well, I have Tyreek Hill on number 5. No spoilers, but I have somebody else on number 10 that might be on the same team as him. In an earlier episode, I spoiled it. I said that they'd probably both be in the top 10.
That's why you had him there. Okay. That makes sense.
I
also had to live up to my word on my bold prediction for my list. So we'll get to that in a minute. But
I know what it is.
Cooper Kupp comes in at number 7. You had him at number 4.
You had him at number 10.
I have him at number 10. And I'm tempted to push him out even further. You know who I was tempted to put in my number 10 instead of Cooper Kupp?
T. Higgins.
No. You're going to think this is crazy. Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman. He just barely crept out of the top 10 at my number 11.
What teams Robert was on again?
Tennessee. But Michael Pittman, he just got veteran quarterback Matt Ryan.
Oh!
He has a lot of potential. He's still got Jonathan Taylor there.
No, I'm not talking about Talk about that Cooper Kupp's like the only one on the Rams.
They have Allen Robinson, Van Jefferson. No,
OBJ?
they've still not yet.
He's still not signed to their team?
So Cooper Kupp comes in at our number 7. And we literally, that was it as far as what we agreed on. So we kind of had to plug in a couple players here.
You had to plug in.
Well, I didn't have Tyreek Hill on my list at all, and he did. So we put Tyreek Hill at number 8 together as a consensus. You had him, I think, higher than that.
And then I'm going to guess who's number 9. CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb is number 9. And then, to be quite honest, I don't even have number 10 filled in because I don't even know who to put there because they're so different.
Do you want to hear who I have at number 8? I have some big hopes in this guy.
This is crazy.
Jarvis Landry.
Crazy.
I also was reading the comments lately, and Grampy said that he thinks Mitchell Trubisky is going to start game 1, throw 3 interceptions, and Kenny Pickett starts game 2.
3 interceptions against the Bengals. I love it. I love it. That would be awesome. So to fill in our number 10 spot,
I had Jalen Waddle at 10.
we could literally. So hold on. So you had. Let me rewind. You have Jarvis Landry.
Yes.
So you think Jarvis Landry is going to outperform Michael Thomas and Chris Olave on their team?
But, yes. I don't know. Michael Thomas is not going to play. Let's be honest.
I like it. I like you kind of stretching out there a little bit and, rolling the dice on him a little bit. But here's so really that number 10 spot. I mean, you could plug in T. Higgins, which I have at number 9, ahead of Cooper Kupp at number 10 because of my bold prediction that Higgins and Chase both end up in the top 10 ahead of Cooper Kupp. But so you could plug in T. Higgins, you could plug in Mike Williams.
I was gonna put him in something. Our new segment. I was gonna put him in our new segment, but then I put his.
Oh, that would be crazy.
I know.
You could put Michael Pittman. You could put DK Metcalf. You could put,
Nice.
Deontay Johnson possibly, Chris Godwin. I mean, there's so many names right there at the cusp of number 10 that you could put there. So that one, we're just going to kind of leave that open to interpretation for anyone who wants to plug that in
themselves. Whoever's watching this, tell us in the comments down below your list.
Yes. We would like to know who your number 10 would be out of those. T. Higgins, Mike Williams, Michael Pittman, Chris Godwin. Who do
Chris
you
Olave.
think? Who do you think should get
Garrett
that
Wilson.
number 10?
Okay, I wasn't thinking of rookies. I was thinking of players.
Well,
I think I could put like Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson on this list. Not gonna lie.
That's risky. That's risky for
Jamar
sure.
Chase made the 3rd,
That is true.
and Jamar Chase was no better than Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave in college.
Well, in college, but NFL's not college.
Yeah, but
So here's a couple little facts to point out because you questioned me not wanting Cooper Kupp in my top 10, right?
I was debating I was gonna put him at number 10, but then I was like, well.
So you were, but But everyone thinks I'm crazy for not having Cooper Kupp in my top. I mean, he's at number 10, right? So he's almost out of my top 10. But here is why I did that. Here's why. Cooper Kupp, 2017, fantasy finish number 27. 2018,
20.
fantasy finish number 47. 2019, Cooper Kupp finished at number 4, which is good.
What?
Number 4. 2020, Cooper Kupp finished at 34. So in the last 5 years, he's finished outside the top 25 3 out of 5 times. 3 out of 5.
Wait, what's it, 2021 this season?
This past season.
He got number 1.
Yeah, that's what I
You said
said.
34.
No, that was 2020.
Oh.
So he jumped from 34 all the way up to 1.
And he's inconsistent.
But from 2019 to 2020, he went from number 4 down to number 34.
And then he went up to
Number 1. So that's why there's just not stability there for me to think that he's going to replicate what he did last year. Now, here's another cool statistic that I have, just a little information to throw out there for everybody. Mike Evans, probably the most consistent fantasy receiver that is on our list. 2018 finished fantasy wide receiver number 6. 2019, number 8. 2020, number 8. 2021, number 8.
No, 2021 he had to be number 6.
He was number 8.
He was number 6.
I don't know what you're looking at. My list says number 8.
Are you mean 2020 or 2021?
The last 3 fantasy years, he's been number 8 every single year.
This year he was number 6. 2021.
I'm looking at the list. He's number 8. Okay, we have different lists, and I don't know how or why, but through 17 weeks, you have week 18, so maybe that's our difference. But still, consistently, number 6, number 8, number 8, number 8, number 6, whatever the case may be, he lands you right in that mid to late 10 receiver.
All right.
Mid to late top 10. So if you're looking for consistency, if you want to load up on running backs first and get Mike Evans later, knowing he'll be a consistent top 10 guy,
Maybe not, though.
that's some good information to look at. So just a couple of cool things I wanted to throw in there for you guys. But that wraps up our top 10 wide receivers.
Our top 10 picks. Now, let's go on to Fantasy Football Graveyard.
All right. So, a new segment we're doing. We're going to do a few of these coming up, but this one is pertaining to the wide receiver position. The Fantasy Football
Graveyard. That was ASMR.
What does that mean? That means players that were relevant for fantasy football that are not anymore, or that we think are not going to be anymore.
Can I say mine?
So start us off with your first fantasy football graveyard pick.
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen.
Yes.
Wow. The Keenan Allen. The Keenan Allen that ended up number 13 last year?
Yep, he's going to end up 33.
Wow. Okay. Fantasy football graveyard. So you're putting Keenan Allen in the graveyard.
is
My first player for the Graveyard, wide receiver, is Adam Thielen. He's been
aight.
slowly
Aight.
digressing. He was number 22 last year. Coming
Aight.
down from the previous year where he was higher than that. But he's 31, going on 32. And I think he is. I think he's in the graveyard. I think he's not one that you're going to want to pick.
all right. So the next
Graveyard pick.
here, cut the cameras. I'll ask you after. I'll ask you right now.
Okay, ask me right now.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So my second graveyard pick is Cordell Patterson.
Okay.
I think he's gonna go in the dumpster. Is he on a team?
He's on the Falcons.
I didn't know if they re-signed him. I think he's gonna go.
I agree. I can see that. I don't. The thing about him is he has never really been all that. I mean, last year was a good year for him.
That's what I mean.
Before that, didn't really have much. So I think he had a short fantasy life, and I think next year, I agree with you. He's probably not one that you want
So
to
he's gonna go.
That's what he's going to do. Absolutely.
Who's yours?
My second second and last graveyard pick. Someone who was relevant for fantasy football. Last year kind of had a little bit of a resurrection. He was relevant again. But then his season ended not so pleasantly. Odell Beckham, former wide receiver for the LA Rams during the Super Bowl. He has been digressing multiple years, and I think he's done.
I don't.
He's gonna
I think
play.
you're crazy.
He's gonna play, but I don't think you're gonna want to play him on your fantasy roster.
He's not even on a team.
But he will be.
Are you sure?
He's gonna sign to a team. There are plenty of teams that need a wide receiver.
Who?
I mean, there's the Bears, the Falcons,
No. they
Jacksonville. I mean, there's plenty of teams that could use a good wide receiver. The Texans.
don't. The Jets
The Jets actually have some.
are
pretty
gonna
good
be
ones,
a good team this year. Mark my words. Playoffs. You heard it here first.
mark my words. I think you're crazy.
Hey, they got Garrett Wilson. They got Sauce Gardner. They got other people. Think they got like an offensive lineman, defensive man,
Running back.
running back. Brees Hall.
Yeah.
Brees Hall. I knew it.
All right. So Odell Beckham goes in the fantasy graveyard this year. Done.
No. I think he's gonna go.
No. Nail
And
in
then
the
next
coffin.
year,
Nail in the coffin for Odell Beckham. Adam Thielen. I think you're crazy about Keenan Allen, but yes, Cordell or Patterson. So that does it for our segment, the Fantasy Football Graveyard. And that's going to do it for our show today. We're glad you tuned in. Leave us some love in the comments. Let us know who your number 10 wide receiver would be from our
and
list.
let us know if you've been watching since day number 1. Down in the comments.
Yeah.
Because if you have, you're a true supporter, and you know who you are.
Make sure you tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog,
Post it on Facebook, Instagram,
your doctor,
YouTube.
tell your car mechanic, your insurance agent, your McDonald's food preparer, everyone you know about this podcast. Tell them
We'd be appreciated.
you have the best fantasy football advice here and
And
some ADD going on over here.
next week, we're gonna be going to Florida soon, like next week. So next week we're gonna give you a video and then we'll probably give you a video in Florida. But then after that, I since it is the summer, we're gonna be making a video every week, but they're gonna be better videos. They're gonna be more edited. They're gonna be better because we don't have much time on our hands right now because he works a lot and I have school, but I'm done with school, so I'm gonna have a lot more time. He's not, but I'm gonna try. We're gonna start using the new camera some more. This is the old camera. We decided we're not ready yet to do it, but
we've got some kinks to work out. So, but next week we're gonna jump into some tight ends. Probably won't do 10 because there's really not 10 tight ends worth talking about. We might do 6
or 4.
But we're gonna jump into some tight ends. Maybe we'll throw a little more in there. Give you some.
You already know who's gonna be there.
Depth options.
You already know who's gonna be there.
If you have to go that route.
You already know who's gonna be there. Jeremy Ruckert, Dallas Goddard.
Next week, tight ends. And then the week after that, like Hayden said, we are going to do an episode from Florida. So we're from Ohio. That's where we're at now, shooting in our studio. But
in our basement.
In 2 weeks, make sure you tune in for our episode coming from Florida. All right? So we're glad you were here. Like, subscribe, tell some friends. Leave us some love in the comments. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Peace.